To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past. And here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Explore the Mouse Podcast, a podcast by Disney lovers for Disney lovers. Come join us as we dive into the wonderful world of Disney. Here is your host, Eric Dodakis.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Explore the Mouse 411, and this is a kind of a offshoot episode of the actual podcast where we kind of go and dive into some recent new news. Pretty much since we don't, I guess you could say since we don't do the podcast like multiple times a week, we only release a podcast once a week, and typically it's on a topic that we're kind of picking up. We like to do something different. We like to kind of get out there and talk about a few things that's going on. So that's what we're going to do today. And if you're listening live, which I like to do these live, because if there's anyone that wants to come and chime in, they could definitely do that. But the intention of it is kind of just more to do this episode. And it's just a bonus. If anyone does jump in live, they can kind of come listen to this and jump in the chat room and, you know, chat with me, which is fun. But if not, this is something that you guys can listen to later on and keep taking with you. So that's kind of why I do it. But if you are looking at this right now, you definitely can know that what our topic's going to be about. And it's about the most recent D23 Destination D Expo that was at Walt Disney World, more specifically held at the Contemporary Resort. And for some people that might not know, people that are listening, D23 is it's the actual Disney fan club. It is, you know, the most exclusive club that you could be a part of when it comes to Disney, and you get some really sweet perks when you join this club. You know, there's several packages of it. Now we'll go, you know, maybe we'll talk about that in another episode or another 411, but one of the things that you can do with this thing is that they have expos all throughout the year. They also throw parties throughout the year too. So if you're a member of D23, you can take advantage of a lot of this and get invites to certain parties, like this last one, the D23, which was for Mickey's Celebration down at Walt Disney World. This one was fun because you can actually get access into it, and you can, you know, go to, there's like a little Mickey's birthday party and all this different stuff. And D23 Expo every year is also the big one where they kind of reveal a lot of new things. Well, this expo that they did just recently for Mickey's celebration for his 90th birthday, which was just a few days ago, was actually pretty exciting. They released a lot of awesome information when it that pertains to Walt Disney World itself. So we're pretty excited about that. And this is kind of what we're going to talk about today. Everything from Star Wars all the way to other things at Hollywood Studios, and even Epcot stuff. So there's going to be some really, really fun stuff today. So one of the topics that we wanted to talk about first, and this is because I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. Always have been. Always will be. Star Wars is probably one of my favorite like sci-fi things, I think I can say. And as everyone knows, that's a huge fan of Disney. Walt Disney World and Disneyland right now are in the process of building Star Wars Galaxy Edge, which is their own land, similar to the Toy Story land that they just opened. So Galaxy Edge is going to be Star Wars' own personal land that's going to be inside both parks. Galaxy Edge is opening up this summer of 2019 at Disneyland, and then later fall of 2019 down at Walt Disney World. And I was actually just down there recently and was able to get a glimpse of Galaxy Edge from Toy Story Land and then a couple other areas, and it just looks so cool in person already. And they still have a lot of work to go. But they did reveal some new photos from at the D23 event of Galaxy Edge. Some stuff that people really haven't seen, because so far we've really just seen aerial views. of either people with drones or people from helicopters or whatever it may be. We've only really seen aerial views of Galaxy Edge. This is the first time at D23 that they did like a legit walkthrough and kind of got to show you what it's going to kind of look like, even though it's still under construction. So that is really exciting news. But so there's going to be 2 rides that are in Galaxy Edge, and during the D23 Destination D, they were the first one to see the new rides, or at least the concepts of them from from pictures, which I think was really, really cool. But Bob Chapek, who is the chairman of Disney Parks, Experiences and Consumer Products, that's his full title. Bob Chapek actually revealed some of the stuff for all the different parks. And like I said, that was one of them was the 2 rides. So let's kind of get into it a little bit. One of the rides that people know it's coming because they've seen it built from aerial views is the Millennium Falcon. And when you're talking about Star Wars, Millennium Falcon is I guess you could say the coup de grace of spaceships. So there's going to be a ride there, and that ride's going to be called Smuggler's Run. And let me tell you, from what I saw from like video packages they released about Smuggler's Run, it's going to be a really cool ride. Now, the concept of it, from what it looks like to me, is similar to Mission to Mars over in Epcot, where you're on a team and you guys are each having your own specific job to basically fly the Millennium Falcon through the galaxy. I hope it's not as cramped as the Mars, because that's why I don't do that ride anymore, because it's just ridiculous and I almost get sick every single time. But it looks similar to that concept, so it's going to be interesting to see if it actually is that, where you're inside of one of those rotating pods. But we'll find out later on if that's actually what it is or not. But the actual concept art of the ride and the actual videos of the ride of what it's going to look like, because obviously they've already tested it since we're just about a year away from the park opening. They're obviously testing this stuff. So as a lot of people just recently saw all over at Epcot, is they just recently were testing the cars for the new Guardians of the Galaxy, and that building there, it doesn't even have walls. That building there is completely wide open right now. It's one big giant metal structure, or at least it was when I was there just a week ago. So they're probably testing the ride on. That's where they got a lot of this footage from, and it just looks really cool. So I mean, if you have a chance, go check it out. Go check out D23 Destination D. And just type in Smuggler's Run, and I'm sure some stuff will pop up, and they have videos already released. So the members of D23 were the first people to actually see it, and then after the event was over this past weekend, they released all that video stuff to the public. So and then the other ride that I think this one is going to be really cool is called Rise of the Resistance. And it's going to be in both of the parks. So both of these rides are going to be in both of the actual parks itself. So it doesn't matter if you're in Disneyland or Disney World, you're gonna get the opportunity to be on both of these rides. But the Star Wars Rise of the Resistance is you're gonna basically join in this epic battle between the First Order and the Resistance. So it's kind of picking up where the new movies are with Kylo Ren. And actually that's who you're actually facing off against is Kylo Ren himself, and obviously all of his stormtroopers. One of the cool things that they're doing though with this is that they're actually incorporating the new Disney Play app for this queue. So as you're walking through the queue of this game, you actually could interact with the actual ride experience itself with the Disney Play app, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, you're going to become basically galactic travelers, and it's just going to be a really cool thing, I think. And again, they released some stuff for that as well of what it's going to look like, and I just think it's really, I don't know. So from what I saw from the concept videos, to me it really looks like you're possibly going to kind of have, if you guys have been to Universal Studios in Orlando, and you've been to Diagon Alley in the Escape from Gringotts ride, I don't know 100%, but from the concept video that I've seen, it looks very, very similar to that ride. Don't quote me on that, but from what I've seen, it kind of resembles that ride in a sense. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what the ride consists of, because I mean, obviously they can't show you what 100% what it consists of because it's not really done yet. So there's no like video to actually really show you, but it's going to be awesome. And then the last of the Star Wars news, and this is I'm super pumped about this one. There's a plot of land that's right over the entrance from Hollywood Studios, and it's been rumored for a long time. There's been some concept art that's been released, but it is officially known now and is officially out there after this past weekend that there is going to be a Star Wars resort coming to Walt Disney World. Which is, I think, is going to be awesome, and it's gonna be outside the borders of actually Galaxy Edge. So if you're kind of looking in an area, there's a plot of land like right over the road near Galaxy Edge, and that's where it's going to go. Which it's going to be interesting to see if there's like some kind of cool access that you can get if you're staying at that resort, straight into the park in Galaxy Edge. Because I think that would be awesome, to be honest with you. If there was a way that you can stay at that resort and enter Hollywood Studios from that area, I think that would be awesome. It would just be really another immersive experience when it comes to that ride. But, but it is going to be a luxury starship, and you can't see it because we're on podcast, but I'm doing air quotes, and the whole point of it is going to be a luxury starship. And it's going to be everything you want to find in a first-class hotel. Dining, recreation, all the accommodations you want, everything Star Wars. So a lot of the concept art that you saw previously for this hotel is pretty much what it's going to resemble. It's going to look like you're on a actual starship, a luxury starship cruising somewhere. So I think that's going to be really awesome. I think it's going to be fantastic. Now, if we go kind of towards the center of Hollywood Studios, one of the other things that they really kind of touched on at the D23 Destination D event was the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And this is the event that's going to be taking over inside the actual Mann's Chinese Theater. It's going to be taking over the old Great Movie Ride. And a lot of people were really mad about the Great Movie Ride closing, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't heartbroken. It definitely, it was one of those things that was really cool, but I wasn't heartbroken about it, if that makes sense. But I definitely, it was a cool classic ride, but I think this is going to be cool because this is going to be legitimately bringing back some, I guess you could say, some Disney to it. I'm really excited to see them doing something with Mickey and Minnie. And I don't know, I'm just really, really excited about seeing like a ride that has to do with classic Mickey and Minnie cartoons, and that's really what it's going to be. One of the cool things that they mentioned about this was that during this ride, the train whistles that you hear are actually coming from the exact train whistles they use for Steamboat Willie. So there's also some really cool nostalgia that's going to be inside this ride. And as you know me, if you've listened to any of the podcasts and everything else, you know that I'm all about history and nostalgia when it comes to Disney. I just love it. I can't get enough of it. I love that Disney's growing because that was Walt's dream. But at the same token, I also love the history and the nostalgia of it, and I think that's bringing a little bit of it back, which is going to be really cool. But this is actually going to be the very first ride-through attraction ever to feature Mickey Mouse, and it's basically going to be breakthrough technology, and it's going to transform a two-dimensional cartoon into a really cool real-world experience. And it has a whole different new story to it, but again, it's going to be very, very nostalgic, very. I guess you can say historic. Nostalgic. That's the only word I can really say. But that's going to be awesome. It's coming in 2019, and that's going to be taken over with the old Great Movie Ride inside the Mann's Chinese Theater. Now, that's something else they're really doing, too, that I can tell you just from being there recently and also just looking at everything else they're doing, is that Disney is really, truly trying to kind of bring back Mann's Chinese Theater as like the center of Hollywood Studios, because ever since they took the Sorcerer's hat down, there really hasn't been any, I guess you could say, centerpiece. I mean, you could look at Tower of Terror possibly and stuff like that, but there really isn't a centerpiece. You know, you have the Tree of Life in Animal Kingdom, you have Spaceship Earth in Epcot, and you have Cinderella's Castle in Magic Kingdom. And ever since the Sorcerer's Hat's been taken down, they really haven't had a true centerpiece. Even if you look at a lot of the stuff from the past, when they try to bring all the parks together, it was always the Sorcerer's Hat. And they don't have that. So they're really trying to bring, I guess you can say, some focus back to the Mann's Chinese Theater, because that is what you see when you first get in there and you start walking down the area. And one of the things that they're doing to kind of bring some focus back to Mann's Chinese Theater is they are actually on May 1st releasing a whole new, like they as they call it, a cinematic nighttime experience, and it's going to be called The Wonderful World of Animation. And it's going to be part of Disney Hollywood Studios' 30th anniversary, because Disney Hollywood Studios is rounding that corner to 30 years old, which I think is really awesome. I love that Hollywood Studios has adapted over the years. They've really changed, and they've really tried to, you know, move in a direction that progresses them forward, which I think is really awesome, and I love that. I have no complaints on that at all. But the new Wonderful World of Animation comes May 1st, and it's going to be a part of the 30th anniversary. And the show is actually going to use brand new state-of-the-art technology, which is going to take everyone on what they call a quote-unquote magical journey through the 90 years of Disney animation. Which I can tell you right now, once again, I think that is going to be amazing. The fact that you can sit there and, you know, watch this show that has state-of-the-art technology and actually go through 90 years of Disney animation. And there's something that like I said, I'm a huge fan of Walt's drawings and Walt's original concept for all of his animations. And one of the things I actually just recently picked up from someone that was selling it on Facebook was a history of Mickey Mouse and Disney animation. So it's really kind of cool to see that, and it's also really kind of cool to see that Disney's going back and they're not forgetting their roots. You know, because you think about it, in 10 years, we're rounding that 100-year mark, the 100-year celebration mark, you know, when it comes to like Mickey's birthday. And that's kind of what surrounds the whole animation aspect of it all, is Mickey. Even though Walt had a lot of stuff that he did prior to Mickey, Mickey is kind of the, you know, he is the center point that they go by when it comes to Walt Disney animation. So it's going to be really cool, and I cannot wait to go see that show when it comes out. It comes out May 1st, like I said, and if I can swing it, I'll be definitely down there. Yeah, it's only going to be not even 2 months after our daughter's born, but we may have to take our daughter down to Disney at 2 months old for her very first, you know, Disney experience, because I really want to see that show. I really do. So I can't complain. But some of the other cool thing is this whole year is going to be a celebration of Mickey and Minnie. Being that it's the 90 years, it's going to be one big giant celebration. And one of the things that they're doing, Disneyland wise, is they're going to be doing something called Get Your Ears On, and it's a Mickey and Minnie celebration. Which is going to bring a ton of brand new entertainment, tons of new food, and even merchandise to the resort, which I think is really cool. And then starting on January 18th, they're doing something called Mickey's Mix Magic, which is pretty much going to light up the night at Disneyland Park with all new music, projections, lasers, and everything like that. So if you live in California area and you go to Disneyland a lot, get whatever show that's going on there right now in, because starting January 18th, they're going to be changing it out and doing something a little bit different. And they're also adding a new parade, too, coming January 2019. They're actually adding a parade called Mickey's Sensational Parade, which is going to be leading the celebration right down Main Street, USA. Which I think would be really cool. Now, Walt Disney World, you guys are not left out. So Orlando, you don't have to worry, because there is some stuff for you too. From January 18th to September 30th, which is a pretty decent time. They're going to have Mickey and Minnie's surprise celebration at Magic Kingdom. Hey, it's not a surprise anymore. It's out there. But it's all brand new food, merchandise, entertainment, brand new dance party. with Mickey, Minnie, and all of their friends inside their new birthday outfits, which I got to say, the new birthday outfits and the merchandise for the birthday outfits, I think is awesome. You know, I don't know if you actually seen Minnie's birthday outfit in person, but it's got like the ball pit. It's got like a bunch of like the celebratory balls that are between the dress and like the mesh part on the outside. It's a really cool outfit, and I love them. I think they're really cool, and so you'll be able to get to see a lot of those outfits in this parade from January 18th to September 30th. So I think it's going to be really cool. One of the other really cool things that they did at D23 Destination D is they revealed inside, they actually revealed what the gondola is going to look like for the new skyliner system. And the skyliner system is moving so quick right now. It's crazy. Now that the towers are up, it's just a really quick process. When I was there just maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, not even that, there was legitimately, all there was towers, no cables up, no nothing. And then 2 days after I left, I got, some of alert of an update that was going on. And they had cables up, and they already had some of the test arms kind of running the cables, which I thought was crazy. Because just a couple days before that, there was nothing. And then this weekend, they unveiled the actual gondola itself. And now the gondolas are not air conditioned. So from what I understand, even though they're not air conditioned, they have this vent system where the vents open and they kind of use the outside air. Now, these gondolas are not super slow. These gondolas actually go fairly quick, and I think they were saying the top speed, and I might be 100% wrong on this, but I'm not sure. But if I remember reading it right, I think the top speed's somewhere around 13 to 15 miles per hour, which is pretty fast. So if you have the vent system, they're saying that the vents should keep you cool inside the ride. And again, the ride's not that long. If you're going from like let's say the very end to like Epcot, or Epcot to the very end, you're looking at maybe a 20-minute or so ride, I think. So it shouldn't be too bad. And again, it all depends on how busy they are too. If they're really busy, then it might be a longer ride. If they're not busy, then it would be a shorter ride, obviously. But the gondolas look really cool. I think it's going to be a really neat thing to kind of do when you go to Disney, just to kind of get a different aspect. Because I have a video that I haven't posted yet to YouTube. I'm going to be doing it shortly, but I show you the towers and all that other stuff, and you're going to get a really cool shot of Epcot when you're coming into the park. So definitely have your cameras ready when you're doing that. But speaking of Epcot itself, there's a couple really cool things that are going to be going on in Epcot coming up in 2019. And this is kind of part of Epcot's transformation. Epcot, as you know, is basically the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. Now, with that was Walt's original dream. Well, when you're talking about history or the future, you always have to update, because eventually the future is going to catch up to itself. So that's what Disney's doing right now, is that they're kind of bringing Epcot through a transformation, if you would say. And this is going to be over the next couple of years. It's not going to be a quick process, but it's definitely going to be a process over the next 2-3 years or so. And like I said in a previous thing, Spaceship Earth is going to be closing down for 2 years for renovations as part of this. Plus you have Guardians of the Galaxy ride that's being built, and like I said, that thing is massive. So it's going to be really cool to see that. But one of the things that I'm extremely excited about is the Ratatouille ride. The Ratatouille ride, it's not the first one they have. They already have another one over in Asia. But the Ratatouille ride is going to be a really sweet trackless ride, which I think is going to be really cool. And it's going to be inside the France Pavilion. And if you see the video that I'm going to be posting to YouTube here shortly, you'll be able to actually get a chance to kind of see the building that they're building on the backside, which is really cool. But it officially has a name, though. And the name is going to be Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. And like I said, I'm extremely excited for this ride. Ratatouille is probably my top 5 favorite Disney movie, simply because I used to work as a chef, so it's just one of those movies that I really always loved. But it's just one of those movies I just absolutely love. They also announced too that they're going to be doing a brand new Beauty and the Beast sing-along that is going to be actually created by the guy who produced of the animated and live action Beauty and the Beast. which I think would be really cool. And they're also adding something to the Canadian pavilion called O Canada. It's a 360-degree show. So, or I'm sorry, update to that ride that's already there, but they're going to be doing a big update to it. I apologize. I misspoke. Now, as I told people this a little bit ago too, is enjoy Illuminations while you can, because Illuminations is leaving. They are shutting Illuminations down, and they are bringing a completely brand new state-of-the-art show debuting 2020. It's supposedly it's going to be amazing, and from the concept art of it, it looks unbelievable. So it would be really fun to see, because I love Illuminations. Illuminations is awesome, but for me personally, Illuminations has kind of run its course, and I'm ready to see something different move in there. So, we'll see. We'll kind of see what that show looks like, but we have a little bit to go before that, because it's supposed to be, like I said, 2020. But they announced that, which is going to be absolutely awesome. They're going to have floating, massive floating set pieces like they did kind of before. Custom-built LED panels, choreographed moving fountains, lights, pyrotechnics, all that type of jazz. And I think it's going to be really cool. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see if they ever do something else going on with it. But that'll be fun. But before that starts, because like I said, Illuminations is going to be going away shortly. But before that, they're going to be doing something called Epcot Forever. It's going to be a true celebration, as they put it, of Epcot. And that's going to be debuting in the fall of 2019. And it's going to be set to classic Epcot music. As they put it, the show is going to begin with a spark of imagination that quickly grows into an epic spectacle of fireworks, music, lights, lasers, and choreographed self-effect kites. Epcot's stepping their game up, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to see some of this stuff before they go, get over there and see Illuminations before they completely change this up, because before the new fireworks show even starts, there's going to be another, like I said, there's going to be a small one, kind of a small one popping in called Epcot Forever. So get in and check that out. But so pretty much with that, that's what I wanted to talk about one more time. And this is the last thing that we have on this little quick episode. And that is the 2 new resorts that is coming to the park. Now, we've talked about these resorts, a bunch of different resorts, many, many times. And the one that we were talking about that was kind of like, we didn't really know too much information on it, but we kind of knew a little, is going to be Disney's Lakeside Lodge. It's going to be the deluxe nature-inspired resort. And we talked about that before, and it's still proposed as a DVC club. Or I'm sorry, it's supposed to be a 900 hotel room place with proposed Disney Vacation Club villas. So if you're part of Disney Vacation Club, you'll be able to kind of jump in there and maybe get something at this place. But they're also going to have 900 hotel rooms. And this is supposed to be over near Wilderness area, which I've talked to some people that are not quite happy with this, and we're actually going to be doing an episode in the future about some of the new hotels to speak about them, and it will be interesting. We're actually going to do a full episode podcast about the Fort Wilderness area and the campgrounds, and this will be part of it. So Chapek also gave everyone a sneak peek at the Disney Riviera Resort. Now, the Riviera Resort is going to be one of the resorts that is going to be accessible for the Skyliner, which I think is really cool. Projected to open in the fall of 2019, which a lot of stuff is happening in the fall of 2019. Galaxy Edge, you got, the Riviera Resort. There's so much happening next year in the fall. It's crazy what's going on. And the proposed resort will be the 15th DVC Club property. So again, another DVC club, and I think it's gonna be really. It looks really cool, and I posted some concept art about it. And if you guys saw the concept art, go check it out. If not, it is on my page. You can go see what the Riviera Resort's going to look like from the outside, or potentially what it's going to look like from the outside. But it's basically going to kind of bring you to the Mediterranean coastline, is what their whole projective goal is for it. But yeah, with that being said, it was a fun episode, ladies and gentlemen. It was fun to kind of hang out with everyone here and see what everyone is up to today. So I'm super excited about some of the stuff coming to Disney, and I am just absolutely waiting, holding my breath for all the fun stuff that Disney is unveiling. And like I said, fall of 2019 is going to be insane, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be so much stuff happening at Disney, not in just Disney World, but Disneyland itself. It's going to be a great year for Disney, and they're just continuing to step the game up even more. And I think it's absolutely awesome, and I just cannot wait to see what's happening more in the future. But ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time we have for this episode. This is Explore the Mouse 411. I am your host, Eric Lagaikis. Please check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram. Go follow us on YouTube. Go check us out on our new website, explorethemouse.com, that has everything from pictures to our blogs to links to all of our stuff. Go check it out. Be a part of the Explore the Mouse community, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.